This is Sean testing the microphone today.
Test, trial, test.
Hello, welcome to Good for a Change. This is a podcast where we aim to combat the awful everyday news you hear with stories that will make you smile. I'm Jarrod, and sitting there doing a very fake smile is Hollie.
Hello, Hollie.
And sitting over there is Sean.
Hello.
How are we?
Good.
Are we excited?
Yeah.
We're excited to do a podcast?
More than.
Who's the most excited out of you two?
I don't know. It's hard.
I think it's Jarrod.
We haven't gauged it.
Well, I'm going to let one of you two start, and I need to know who's the most excited.
Oh, I'll go first.
Okay, Sean's the most
I'm
excited to
thrilled.
go.
Here we go.
Sean, what's your good news?
Oof. Here we go. Okay. Chief of Police, who has been working for 25 years in the police service, was recently celebrated for doing so and received 25 donuts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were they... That's
It was a donut for every year of his service.
That's sweet.
And literally.
Were they the same type of donut? Were the 25 like cinnamon donut? Because I feel like someone just spent $5.
I'm not entirely sure now if they were all...
Was he retiring or was
No.
he...
He's the chief of police and he's been serving 25 years. And they thought, you know what, 25 years is a decent amount of time to serve. Let's get him a donut for every year he served. So it was two 12-packs and an extra donut.
That's
Okay, I appreciate the fact they've done that, because some places might have gone, oh, just give him the 24, it's fine.
Yeah, no.
It'll be alright.
It'll be alright, he won't worry.
My other favourite element of this story, other than the fact that he received the cliche present of donuts and he is a police officer, is that his name is Standridge.
Standridge.
Stan Standridge.
Okay.
What a name.
I know, it's a great name.
Is he a character from an English cartoon?
No, I believe he's American.
Hello, my name's Hollie Hollybon.
That's a cracking name.
Isn't it just? Why
Yeah.
wouldn't you want to celebrate someone called Stan Standridge with 25 donuts?
Yeah, good on you, Stan.
Like, his parents did that on purpose.
Yeah.
You feel like it, isn't it? It's one of those things that
Yeah.
you go like, I've got this
Like,
opportunity.
They knew what they were doing when they
gonna
did
take
it.
it.
Is it maybe furthering a stereotype?
That's-
that the police officers enjoy donuts?
I was wondering that. Apparently, he does have like a donut every day or something when he comes in. So
he is
he is
the
the stereotype.
Yeah.
Stan Standridge started the stereotype. Oh, that was alliteration.
Say that 5 times real fast.
I don't want to. We already had to edit me trying to say Stan Standridge the first time.
Yeah. Okay, so we don't know what type of donuts they were?
Don't know what type of donuts they were. I didn't delve
What
that far
donut
into
would
the
you
story.
like 25 of?
Oh,
You can
goodness.
pick one type of donut.
The lemon meringue ones from Krispy Kreme.
Yep, good choice.
I think I'll also go Krispy Kreme.
Yeah.
And it's the raspberry glazed jam donut because it's all the joy of a Krispy Kreme glazed donut
Yep.
with all the joy of a raspberry donut.
Yep.
But failing that, hot jam donuts.
Hot jam donuts are great. I am the face of the victims of hot jam donuts. This happened many years ago now, about 10 years ago. But I ate a hot jam donut, and the jam was so hot that it dripped onto my chin, and I had a scar for about 4 months.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
On the line of lame scars, I once scratched my nose.
Yep.
And I guess as you get older, your skin stretches and goes to different places, and the scar like warped down to like my cheek.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
No scratch. I've got one on my arm. Weird scars. Do you know those things? And they have like different primary colours on them, and then you pull them out and it makes white light. It's like a science experiment
Okay,
for
vaguely,
kids.
yes.
I had one of those, but it was made of wood. It was lovely. And I went hard on it, and I pulled it to one side, and I scratched my whole arm, and it smelt awful. And I've still got the scar there, just there, from that.
So
when
you
I was
have.
like 6.
This got really visual all of a sudden with Hollie's weird random pulling device. So we'll put an image of it on our Instagram where we put all our visual material for our stories.
Can I ask, that could be your answer, but what's the dumbest injury you've ever given yourself?
I fractured my collarbone when I was 3 because I fell out of a bunk bed.
Were you on the top?
I was. It was. I don't think I would have included the bunk section of that if I wasn't. It was one of those ones that like had a desk underneath. And I went down for breakfast in the morning, and I was like, I can't lift my arm to eat my breakfast. And my parents were like, you need to calm down, eat your food. And then I was like, oh no, I've actually like ruined this. When I was in a sling, those were the good times.
Nice. What's the dumbest injury you've given yourself, Sean?
I was working at Paper Chase in the UK, which is a stationery and card store, and needed to get a drink of water and thought, I don't want to be off the floor for too long, so I'll run upstairs and I'll get my glass of water. And so I ran up the stairs and I tripped up the stairs and I smashed my little finger. Really badly.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, probably not broken because I can still move it. Yep. I did sort of have to click it back into place, which did feel a bit weird.
Yeah.
And then I called it Grimace for the next month because it went big and giant and purple like the character from McDonald's.
Yeah, nice.
And Holly was like, do you need to go to the hospital? And I was like, nah, I'll be
we
right.
Just like first aid on him in my shop. And he was like, I'm fine.
Yeah.
He'd had, like, 2
the first aid
cleanings.
just made my other finger feel worse because of the cut off circulation on that. And now it's still a bit wonky.
You know those balls that are like squishy and you throw them down on the ground and they sort of splat and then like congeal back together? Yeah. So I had one of them and I was at my friend's place.
I'm just trying to work out how this injures someone. I'm very excited to see how this goes.
It's injured myself, right? And I've decided, like, I've been thrown on the floor and, you know, the whole thing's covered in hair and it was real gross.
Disgusting.
But I went, all right.
of the 90s.
Yeah. I went, all right, last one. I've thrown it down as hard as I can. I should point out, by the way, like you say, Vision of the 90s, this was not that long ago. Like, may have been, I think I was out of high school. So within the last 12, 13 years, right? So I've gone to throw it down as hard as I can, and I don't know why I've done it, but I have lifted my right leg up, like, with my knee up. Don't know why, I've never thrown like that in my life. And I've thrown down, and because I've gone down as hard as I can, and my legs come up as hard as I can, my 2 fingers on my pointer finger and my middle finger on my right hand smacked into my knee, and I broke my fingers.
Wow.
Yeah, I had it all wrapped up for about 3 weeks.
Oh dear.
Not the smartest injury I've given myself.
That's not ideal at
It
all.
would have been nice if someone had given me 25 donuts. It would make me feel better about myself.
I just to bring it back onto donuts and weird work gifts, before we all go into a barrage of horrible injuring stories. I looked into some other presents that people have received that are sort of work related, and I ended up on a chain of bad work gifts. Mm-hmm. And some of them included a quail from a boss's hunting trip. That was one of the... Yeah.
That used to happen. So we used to work at a garden in the UK. And the people who owned the garden were definitely the kind of people who went out shooting birds. Mm-hmm. And so often they'd bring in pheasants.
Be like, anyone want a pheasant today? And I'd be like,
no, I don't. I don't want a pheasant, but thank you for the offer.
I think one year it was the Christmas present for like everyone on staff.
Yeah.
They got a pheasant for Christmas dinner, and it was like,
ooh,
not me.
Okay, great. What else, Sean?
A book on how to be better at your job.
I feel like that's a gift my boss would have given me.
A seatbelt cutter.
Okay, look, I understand why you might want one of them in your car, but it's a weird
job?
gift.
I don't know. It didn't say what the job was. It just said someone got a seatbelt cutter.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
yep.
Lanyard.
I like a lanyard. I'm all about a lanyard.
Yeah, I don't like a lanyard in the context of like
A gift.
a gift.
Yeah,
like
a
not a
lanyard's
Christmas present.
something you give to someone.
Yeah, like oh, you're starting at work. Here's your lanyard, or
Yeah.
you're performing at a festival. Here's your lanyard. All great, but no, when you get one as a Christmas gift, it's a bit lame.
Yeah.
In fact, anything that was promotional, like for the company, was deemed not a good gift.
Yeah. Oh, don't spit your tea out into your mug, you grot.
I didn't.
You came very close to it.
Yes, because I was laughing. I didn't want to spit it on the
All right.
microphone.
Well, I'm going to get this podcast back on track.
If you could.
Okay, I'm going to tell you about Mikhail Akar. Mikhail Akar has become the newest hit artist in Germany, with his paintings selling for well over 10,000 euros.
Ooh, good on you, Mikhail.
Good on you, Mikhail. What's even more impressive is that Mikhail is only 7.
Whoa, good on you, Mikhail.
Yep, Mikhail's a little champ, right? So, he's an expressionist painter, and he's being
course he
hailed
is. At
as
7.
a preschool Picasso. It started on his 4th birthday when his folks decided he had enough toys. Like, they bought him cars and action figures, so they decided to buy him a canvas and some hand paints, just to, finger paint and chuck your hands on it. when he did his first painting, his father saw it and just assumed the wife had done it.
Oh, wow.
He's like, oh, okay. So I'm going to show you... these are on the Instagram right now. But, Sean, you can describe what you see.
Oh, it's his painting, and it looks like a lot of, like, dots and lines and things in multiple colours.
It's very
It is very visually appealing.
Yeah.
Yep, and this is also his.
Oh, that's also his.
Yes.
I'm more moved by this one on the
Yeah.
left-hand side than this. So the one on the right that he stood in front of is like a Jackson Pollock-esque,
Yep.
Oh, there we go.
splattery.
Ask someone that enjoys going to a modern art gallery.
Whereas the one on the left is a bit more of a Picasso-y portrait, I would say.
Yep.
Like something from the Mighty Boosh, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
Not
It looks a
dissimilar
bit like
to that.
Little bit.
a Noel Fielding painting.
So he's a big soccer fan.
Yep.
And he's been working alongside one of his favourite soccer players to create like a collection.
Oh, yeah.
So you'll see here another one of those sort of Jackson Pollock type things.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, a soccer ball in the middle of it.
fun.
Yeah, I like that.
So he's
enjoy
done a
that
bunch of them. His new favourite method is punching the canvas with a paint-covered boxing glove.
Oh.
one. Same.
Same.
Yeah.
He dreams of playing football. He doesn't want to do this for the rest of his life. It's just something he enjoys at the moment.
He's just getting a bit of pocket money on the side,
a
really.
little bit of, just a casual €10,000.
What can you do?
What can you do? His parents, though, are very supportive and aren't pushing him.
That's good.
Like, I feel like sometimes you hear stories of this where parents push the kids.
And then it's like a whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They let him do it when he wants to do it. Sometimes he might do a couple pieces a week, or sometimes he might only do one a month. But they don't push him. They're like, whatever you want to do, mate, and whenever you want to stop, we'll stop. They've saved all the money and have put it aside for him.
Smart.
So yes, his parents are sort of
That's good parenting, that
good
is.
parenting skills.
Yeah, good on them.
Yes.
Good.
That's
So
really nice.
that's Mikhail, the preschool Picasso.
Preschool Picasso. I mean, in the UK, he'd be in year 2, which is the end of infant school, so he's practically an adult.
Basically. Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
He's well into he's only 7. He might as well be 25.
Is he paying tax yet? No. Not relevant.
Did any of you guys have a side hustle when you were a kid? Any lemonade stands or that kind of thing?
I live on a main street.
Yep.
And I really wanted to do a lemonade stand, and my mum told me I wasn't allowed to because I think she said it was like an illegal business. Which now I think about it, she was just being lazy and didn't tell me. But this is when I was about 8. I really wanted one. She wouldn't let me do it.
When I was probably, I would have been just in senior school, I reckon. Maybe a bit younger. So like 10 or 11. Me and my friend drew a cartoon. Like a cartoon magazine.
Yep.
It was like, I don't know, 4 pages long, and then we walked it up to our corner shop. So I lived in a very, very small village, and we knew the people in the corner shop well because they sold sweets. And we were like, can we photocopy these and put them on your counter and you can like sell them for 10p each? And she was like, yes, you can.
Oh,
and I
nice.
think we made, I don't know, £1.
Ooh.
Yes,
Fancy.
there's like 10 people in the world. I don't have one.
What about you, Sean?
I did some modelling as a kid. I know, it's hard to tell
Because
now.
I've seen photos of you from when you were a kid, and you either look like Dewey from Malcolm in the Middle, which, I mean, granted, you still kind of do. You had a giant head.
You really did have a big head.
Yeah, and when it comes to like the laws of modelling, the reason, or any kind of imagery, the reason we enjoy things is because like puppies, for example, oversized eyes and noses, and you go like, oh wow, that's so cute because it's oversized. So I had a really large head, and as such, was perfect fodder for children's marketing.
What did you do? What
I
did-
modelled for the Guide Dogs Association of Australia.
Okay, nice.
And they had a range of t-shirts and things at the time. The classic range they had was like 3 dogs walking on the front of the t-shirt, and then on the back was their butts.
It is now my life mission to find these.
I am quite certain Mum probably has them lurking
Well,
somewhere.
not only that, but we also know someone who works with guide dogs.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my
Matt.
gosh.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to see if he has access to them.
Re-advertise the t-shirt range.
That's it.
Get it back out.
Get it back
Good for a
out.
change. If you want to sponsor us, Guide Dogs of Australia. No.
We don't want that. Please use your resources to give guide dogs to people who need them. Thanks, though.
My only wasn't much of a side hustle, but I made a lot of money as a kid. With I would always be the volunteer for like buskers, and I don't know how it happened, but every time I was around a busker, they would just bring me up and like to help them with
holding their ladder as they
or
juggled knives.
Yeah, or
Fun
like,
times.
they were doing like magic tricks or something.
Yeah.
And I remember there was probably a good 6-month stretch where like every time we went to the city, I would always be the one called up for a busker. And then the busker would like give you money at the end.
Oh, wow.
It'd be like, here's a couple of bucks. And so, yeah, I was
Sweet.
a little... And I remember the very first thing I bought with my busker money was a crocodile puppet.
Sweet.
And I have no idea where that puppet is anymore, but I loved him. I'll still have him somewhere. But yes, he was my very first thing I ever bought with my own money.
Have you got a link for that, Holly? Have you got a link for
As
that?
for participation, let's let Holly participate by telling us her good news story.
My good news story this week is that a truck driver from Ohio... The towns are going to get a bit confusing here. Don't stick too much on the towns.
Okay.
Because he's a truck driver.
Sorry to our Ohio listeners.
I won't. Lost his 3-year-old cat. So he found a cat while he was truck driving, a little kitten, and then he adopted the cat into his cab and he like drove everywhere with his cat for 3 years. And then, by accident, the cat escaped from the truck.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And he was devastated. He was so sad about losing his cat. And then, so this was at a truck stop, sort of on the way to New York. A lady named Kimberly and her friend arrived at the truck stop and they saw in the bushes this really like scraggly looking sad cat. And they were like, oh my gosh, whose cat is this? No one claimed the cat. And they were like, okay, well, we'll keep going to New York. We're on the way to New York. We'll go to New York. And they dropped the cat off at Lollipop Farm, which is a pet rescue place. They scanned the microchip, and they were like, oh my gosh, it's got a microchip, but the microchip was registered to Texas. And they were like, oh my gosh, what's going on here? And so they found the microchip, and then the guy who lost the cat detoured his trip and drove all the way to New York and then was reunited with his kitten, and they had a little cry. And it was really beautiful.
How long were they separated for in the end?
4 months.
Oh my gosh.
4 months. See, at that point, you start to basically give
Yeah.
up.
Well, he said without the microchip, I wouldn't get the cat back.
Yeah.
Like, no chance would the cat be reunited with me.
But I suppose technically, was it registered to him but registered in Texas?
Yeah.
So I think he's found it, had it done the right thing, had
yeah.
it registered, and then...
But he comes from Ohio originally. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Isn't that a wild...
That is like, once again, it's an animal story that's basically a Disney film
Yeah.
of an animal disappearing, going on a wild, crazy adventure, and then being found again at the end of it.
It's amazing that
I mean, I'm pretty sure that is many Disney films.
that the cat kind of did so well and, you know, stayed healthy enough to be found for 4 months.
That's true.
So it was by itself for that 4 months?
Yeah.
Wow.
Apparently it had some medication and it, like, you know,
Yeah.
got back on its feet, and then the truck driver came and picked him up and they lived happily ever after.
That's amazing.
We had a cat going back years ago named Cougar, and he was the best. He was such a loving cat, but he got out. Like, he used to occasionally go outside, and that was fine because he always came back. And then one day he just never came back. And we were really sad. And we're like, where the heck is our cat gone? We went looking for him everywhere, put up signs, couldn't find him, right? So after probably 2 weeks we went, there's every chance the cat's gone. So then we all moved on with our lives. And about 2 years later, we're out the back and I see this little orange cat. Now, my cat didn't have a tail. It had been in a fight, like when we had first got it, didn't have a tail. So he was very recognisable. Mm-hmm. He jumped, I see this little orange cat come into our backyard and I look and it's Cougar. Whoa. And I was like, oh my God, he's back. And he walked into the house, jumped up on my lap, sat with me for about 5 minutes, then jumped off, walked out, and we never saw him again.
Really?
So I think he just came in to be like, oh, by the way, I'm alive. And go,
I've got a
bye.
new family now.
Basically,
So
your cat cheated on you, is what essentially happened there.
Well, I think in the end, Mum managed to sort of figure out that there was like a house, maybe 5 houses behind us, or sort of away from us, and he had started living there.
Yeah.
Which was fair enough. I think this was an old woman who was home all the time.
Yeah.
This is my issue with cats, is that it feels like, do you actually own a cat?
Yes, I
Like-
think you do, because we've got a cat now, Ollie, and he's probably the best cat we've ever had.
Yeah.
Because he's very... Like, Cougar was very loving, but would disappear for a couple of days and come
But like
back.
to
Whereas,
share the loving around.
yeah, whereas Ollie is like, I'm going to sit right on you, and I'm not going to move for 2 hours, and you're going to stay there, and you're going to like it.
Oh, fair enough.
And if you dare move, I'm going to bite you until you sit back down.
Oh wow, what a
that
nice
sounds so
cat.
nice.
He's a good boy.
Oh,
Oh dear.
I think that's really sweet though. I think a cat is a good like travel companion as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I bet that cat had a good time in that truck
Yeah.
Until it got lost out of the truck, and then
until it got lost out of the truck.
But it's back
nice.
in the truck now.
yeah, that's a really good round. I can't think of even like anything that has like a disappeared for that long and then suddenly sort of like made it
Popped
back
up
again.
and-
Yeah.
That's
That's like-
against the odds.
Messages in bottles and things like that though.
Oh yeah.
When they like get picked up and traced back, they're really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Hmm.
There was a story just on that sort of thing about someone who released a balloon and it had like a note inside the helium balloon or attached to it. And it went like 3 states over, this is in America, and landed. And the person who found it had the exact same name. And I want to say birthday.
Yeah. And they looked the same.
And they looked the same as the person who had released it.
Whoa.
And they like met up, and it was like shocking
Oh
similarities
no, I don't
between
like
the two
this at all.
people.
Yeah.
That makes me feel a bit ill.
Have you
Ugh.
heard just stories about like people who, like
This is
twins
now-
who were separated when they were babies,
Yeah.
been adopted into different families, have been given basically the same first and last name. Oh, sorry, first and middle names, I should say. The families have had the same last names.
Oh.
They've grown up. They've got the same jobs. They've married women with the same names. Yeah, coincidences
Wow.
all over the joint.
That's crazy.
Insane.
Well, welcome to Weird for a Change. This is our new podcast where we discuss weird news.
Yeah, so you hear things like that about, these, twins, but then you hear stories about these cats and you go, how does the world work? How does the universe work?
One of those strange things. I guess.
Glitch in the Matrix.
Yeah. Well, I suppose the thing is, there's so many of us, and there's so many animals, and there's so many all sorts of things that there is an odd. The odds are that it could be.
Yeah.
It could happen.
That's it.
Like, there's probably a better chance of winning the lottery.
Yep.
But where there's a will,
But
there's a
people
way.
win the lottery, don't they?
Yeah.
People win the lottery. Yeah.
So,
I won the lottery once. I entered the lottery one time when I was, how old do you have to be in the UK? 17.
yep.
I won £5 and I've never done it again.
Okay, that's great.
I was
job.
like,
That's
I
good.
beat the system.
You won the lottery, you're done.
Yeah.
I'm out. I retire from the lottery.
Yeah. I got 5 times what I put into the national lottery and I'm pleased with that.
You've done well.
That's a good result. Yeah, that's actually that reminds me. I won on a scratchy somewhere earlier in the year, and
You got
I've
Christmas, didn't you?
and that's still lurking somewhere in the house, and I've got to go find it and trade it in for my $5.
Lovely. That'll buy you a nice coffee.
Yeah. Well, if you've won the lottery recently, or you've got any other good news,
You want to sponsor the podcast?
well, you could email us to let us know via our email, which is goodforachangepodcast@gmail.com. We love to read your stories. We love to smile when we get some good news. So send them our way, and we may even talk about it on the podcast.
And if you want to see some of the visual references that we've been using today in the podcast, you can follow us on our social media, which includes Instagram and Facebook. And we're Good for a Change podcast. You'll find us there.
Well, I'm glad that you've told people, because that'll bring a little good into their lives. But Holly, what's good in your life?
I work at a shopping centre, as we're all aware. And in that shopping centre, there is a restaurant called Jimmy Grant. Is that the name?
Yeah, Jimmy Grant's. Yeah.
Jimmy Grant's. It's a Greek restaurant. And there's a lot of restaurants in this shopping centre. And usually I just go to Sushi because it's safe. But Sean's sister the other day told me that at Jimmy Grant's, they sell chips with feta on.
Ooh.
Yeah, what an absolute game changer
Yeah.
chips with feta on are. So I went and I got them and it was the best thing I've ever had.
They also have like a garlic herby seasoning on them. So it's the combination of the garlic herbiness and the feta.
I have to go up that way in a couple of days. I may have to
Yeah.
stop into the shopping centre and eat some feta chips.
Get on it, and it's right like as you go into the food court, so it's really efficient to like go there, get your feta chips, leave.
Excellent.
Yeah, it was incredible. The only thing that I feel like it could have done with is just like some chopped tomato.
Yep.
Like not a salsa, but like just like chopped tomato on the top. I would have really enjoyed that. That would have almost like a Greek salad,
But chips.
but chips.
I'm really hungry. Like, I'm really hungry now.
Yeah, it was that is what's good in my life is the discovery of
Feta chips.
feta chips.
My goodness.
That's pretty impressive, actually.
It's like cheesy chips.
I really like that the UK food, if you think about British foods, 95% yellow.
Yep.
It is
Like
very
classic
yellow.
British dishes,
Yep.
yellow and beige.
And if you're enjoying stories about chips, tune in next week. That's all I'm going to say.
Ooh, you're already hungry.
But until then, Sean, what's good in your life?
We just rejigged our television system, so that we actually haven't had a television for the past couple of months.
And what's all your furniture pointed at?
For the time it was pointed at the cupboard,
Empty walls.
at the wardrobe, yeah. But now we have a television. And originally I was going to use my small one because we've moved back to Australia. A lot of my furniture was still in storage, and that included my old TV, which was a very good television. So good, in fact, that my mother was pretty adamant. She wanted my TV.
Yeah.
And she said, I have a whopping great big TV upstairs. I'll trade it with you. And I was like, nah, I like my TV. Well, we've recently rejigged our room. We put the TV out. We set it all up, and it was a bit too small, actually. So I said, Mum, you know what? I'm gonna take your offer up, and I'm gonna get the TV from you.
And this is what's good in Sean's mum's life.
Yeah, so my mum now has the TV she wanted, and I now have a much bigger TV, which is much better for our use of the television. One of which is I have attached our Wii. The old school Wii.
Yep.
Got the old school Wii out again.
I don't like it when you call it old school. It's very modern. We're so young.
Isn't there at least
Right.
2 systems post Wii, Hollie?
Yeah. We're real old, mate. You're not.
I mean,
Sean and I are.
for relevancy, I also attached my Nintendo 64. However, in bad news this week, it doesn't switch on anymore.
No, that's...
Which is very sad. But the Wii works.
I'm
And
gonna give it
so
another go.
I've worked out that I haven't, on this version of Mario Kart Wii I have here, still a lot of characters left to unlock. So
Okay.
it is now filling my spare time with unlocking some Mario Kart Wii characters, which is honestly a great time.
And who's your go-to Mario Kart character?
I like to be oh my gosh, what's his name? Little Mushroom Man.
Toad.
Toad. Love being Toad.
Sean?
I'm a Luigi, number 1.
No, you're all wrong. The only answer is Donkey Kong.
we were obsessed with. We used to play a lot of Mario Kart with Holly's dad, to the point where we worked out all the cheats in the courses that you can do to cheat the system, and we spent hours trying to work them out, and we busted one Wiimote doing it. But we
Literally broke a Wii remote.
It was like really trying to jump really hard. And we were obsessed with the Donkey Kong characters. I mean, at one point we were trying to earn 200 points plus on a team racing, which is very, very difficult because your AI players
When you're good,
they
suck.
suck.
Yeah.
And so we had to sort of semi-rig the system, and we had all these we'd tape a controller down so it was just always driving kind of thing. We'd chuck that on the other team or something, and
then we'd have to finish the races. That it was the whole thing.
God, you people need to get a life.
Anyway, so that was really good, but we decided we would all race as Donkey Kong characters, but I think at that point we only had I think there's only 3. There's Donkey Kong, there's Diddy Kong, and then there's Funky Kong that you can unlock. So we invented a Donkey Kong character by making a me on the Wii, and it was called Kongy Dong. And it just looked like Donkey Kong, but it was handmade, and so we all raced. So yeah,
Lovely.
that was great fun.
Good.
Anything as good as that in your life, Jarrod?
Do you know what? Mine's slightly related to that sort of thing. I am far behind the what's the word?
Trend?
Far
The
behind the
curve?
trend. There we go. Far behind the curve. The trend on this one. I finally just got myself a PS4
I don't even have one of them. So.
because
So far behind
it was real cheap and it was real good. So I've been having a great time. I've been playing the new Spider-Man that came out last year, and it's great because I just swing around New York and beat up bad guys. What I like about that game, though, is that some of it's like puzzles as well.
Oh, that's good.
Like you're not just,
That's why I like
punching people.
the Lego ones.
Yep. Because
Like Lego Batman.
Yeah.
And, yeah, they're good.
Yeah, I got real into Lego Batman a few years ago on my Xbox. I got that, and then I've also got Arkham Knight, which is Batman.
Yeah.
And I got
Which is also a bit puzzly-ish, aren't they? Those ones are a bit puzzlish
a little bit.
as
Look,
well.
I haven't actually started playing that yet. I only literally got this a couple of days ago. But it all came because I had been staying with my brother, and he had just got one as well, and he had Arkham Knight. But he didn't call it playing Arkham Knight or even playing PS4. He just went, I'm going to spend an hour defending Gotham. And so that was it. And so he was like, I'm just going to defend Gotham while you watch something on the iPad. Or I'm just going to defend Gotham while you run down the shop. Okay,
I'm
great.
sorry, but defending Gotham just sounds like I'm going to the toilet.
Yeah.
The long one. So guys, just gonna go defend Gotham for a bit.
So anyway, going to skip past that. But yeah, there's lots of great games. I'm very excited to start playing
Nice.
when they're cheaper. I'm really excited for Crash Bandicoot. That's all because they remastered all that, and that's all on there. But it's a bit expensive at the moment, and I don't want to spend $100 on Mario. Sorry, not Mario. Crash Racing, I should say.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But I'm excited to eventually get there.
I think there's a new Sonic Racing coming out as well, or come out.
Okay.
And we had one of the Sonic Racing on PS3, and it's a transforming one. It's Sonic Racing Transformed.
Yeah.
And as you drive around the track, you know how like I think it was Diddy Kong Racing back in the day, you could choose between like car, hovercraft, or plane.
Yeah.
Well, this one does car, boat, and plane, but it
Okay.
like changes midway through the course.
Yep.
So, and each of them handles differently, so you've got to like be really aware as you're driving around the course, and it's really fun. And it's Sonic, so it's like really fast too. So it's good fun.
It is a good one.
So if there is one coming on PS4, I do recommend the Sonic Racing games as well.
Well, as we come out of that beautiful interlude and the edited out sing-along Holly and I just had to the Park and Rec theme, we come to the end of another episode. Oh, you look so sad, Holly.
I am sad.
Well, that's okay, because there's going to be another one next week.
Oh, thank goodness.
Oh, because I know you were worried.
I was worried just then.
I know, are you going to be okay?
I'm gonna be alright as long as there's another one next week.
Okay,
I'll tell you what my good news will be next week.
What?
There was another podcast.
Okay, great. Would you feel better, Holly, if you got to tell everybody about the policy?
Oh yeah, I believe there has been a new addition to the policy.
Has there?
Yeah. Well, I just feel
I
like
don't know about this.
I feel like I messaged it to the group chat the other day. Maybe I don't know. I'll talk about it though. I've just felt in recent weeks that the giving us forcing people to give us a 5-star review on iTunes might be a little hefty for some, and that's okay. It's okay if you don't feel pressured. It's a consensual 5 stars. But what I want to say is there's other ways you can help us out. So
This is policy.
Yeah, this is policy.
This is a rule.
And it's, you know what, I think it's almost easier than trying to find where the reviews are on iTunes or your podcast app, or maybe you don't use iTunes so you can't review us on there. But you can, no matter where you listen to us on, you can do this. And I just want you to tell a friend this week about us. Just one friend. Not everyone. Just tell a friend about the Good for a Change podcast.
Or a foe.
Or a foe, yeah. If
We're
you need
not
to
picky.
brighten their day, just tell one person. You might tell them on a messenger, you might tell them in person. Give them a link to the podcast so they can listen along. But just tell a friend.
Tell a friend. I'm going to tell a friend. Holly, you know that there's a podcast called Good for a Change?
No.
It's full with good news stories.
Oh.
Yeah, they aim to combat the awful everyday news you hear with stories that will make you smile.
Wow.
Yeah.
I never knew that, Jarrod.
Yeah, there's a really funny guy in there named Jarrod and a really funny girl in there named Holly.
And
then
Sean.
there's a guy named Sean who steps on our 5-star policy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's fine.
Oh well. Well, you are still welcome to adhere to the original policy of 5 stars.
Definitely.
Definitely,
because while you two might not... While you, Sean, don't want to enforce it, and Holly, you seem to be backtracking, I'm going to double down
Oh no.
on the policy and demand the 5 stars.
That's fair enough, Jarrod. I'm not here to judge.
Okay, great. Well, thank you very much, Holly.
Thank you, Jarrod.
Thank you very much, Sean.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much, Jarrod. You're welcome.
Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.
My voice broke in the start of my bye.